Life is an intricate web of interactions, a complex game where our choices either harmonize or clash with those of others. Every decision we make, from negotiating a salary to choosing a vacation destination, is influenced by the actions and reactions of those around us. Game theory, a fascinating field of study, provides a powerful lens through which we can decipher the intricate patterns of this game, revealing the hidden logic behind our strategic choices. At its core, game theory is the study of how individuals and groups make decisions in situations where the outcome depends on the actions of multiple decision makers. It's like a chessboard where each player carefully considers their moves, anticipating the countermoves of their opponents, with the ultimate goal of achieving a favorable outcome. Section 1. Key components of the game. To embark on our journey into the world of game theory, we must first understand its fundamental building blocks. Players, the individuals, groups, or entities engaged in the decision-making process. These can be as diverse as competing businesses, negotiating countries, or even animals vying for resources. Understanding the motivations and intricacies of each player is paramount in game theoretic analysis, laying the groundwork for predicting their behavior and anticipating their moves. Strategies. Strategies constitute the lifeblood of strategic interactions, representing the myriad choices available to each player. In the realm of business negotiations, strategies may range from aggressive bargaining tactics to collaborative partnership agreements. Similarly, in geopolitical interactions, strategies could encompass diplomatic overtures, military maneuvers, economic sanctions, or covert operations. Each strategy carries its own set of implications and consequences, influencing not only the player's immediate outcome, but also the broader strategic landscape. Deciphering the intricacies of available strategies and their potential outcomes is essential for crafting effective game plans and navigating complex decision-making scenarios. Payoffs. Payoffs serve as the ultimate arbiter of success in strategic interactions, representing the outcomes or rewards resulting from the interplay of chosen strategies. These payoffs manifest across a diverse spectrum, encompassing tangible gains such as financial profits, market dominance, or resource acquisition, as well as intangible benefits such as social status, political influence, or psychological satisfaction. Deciphering the payoffs associated with various strategies is a multifaceted endeavor, requiring careful consideration of short-term gains versus long-term consequences, individual interests versus collective welfare, and quantitative metrics versus qualitative factors. By unraveling the complex interplay of payoffs, analysts can assess the desirability of different outcomes, identify optimal strategies, and navigate towards favorable equilibrium points. Payoff matrix, a visual representation that maps out the players, their strategies, and the corresponding payoffs for each possible outcome. It's a roadmap that guides players through the labyrinth of choices and consequences. Imagine a simple game where two friends are deciding where to eat dinner. Each friend has two strategies, choosing either Italian or Mexican cuisine. The payoff for each friend depends not only on their own choice, but also on the choice of their friend. If both choose Italian, they both get a payoff of 8, representing a delicious and enjoyable meal. If one chooses Italian and the other Mexican, they both get a payoff of 4, representing a less satisfying compromise. If both choose Mexican, they both get a payoff of 6, representing a good meal but not their top preference. This scenario can be neatly encapsulated in a payoff matrix, allowing the friends to visualize the potential outcomes and make informed decisions. The equilibrium quest, finding the sweet spot of strategic interaction. In the intricate world of decision-making, we are constantly seeking a harmonious balance, a point where our choices align with the choices of others to produce the best possible outcome. Game theory guides us in this quest for equilibrium, a state of stability where no one has an incentive to change their strategy. Dominant strategies, your ace in the hole. Think of a dominant strategy as your secret weapon, a move that always wins, no matter what your opponent does. It's like having the unbeatable hand in poker. You're guaranteed the pot. Example, imagine you're a coffee shop owner competing with another shop across the street. You both offer similar coffee, but you decide to slash your prices by 50%. This is your dominant strategy. Regardless of whether your competitor keeps their prices high or lowers them to match yours. You'll attract more customers and increase your sales. Nash equilibrium, the dance of strategic balance. A Nash equilibrium is like a well-choreographed dance, where each dancer moves in perfect sync with the others, creating a harmonious performance. In this state, no one can improve their position by changing their steps unilaterally. Example, consider a group of friends deciding on a movie to watch. Each person has their own preferences, but they also want to watch something everyone will enjoy. After some discussion, they settle on a comedy that ranks reasonably high for everyone. This is a Nash equilibrium. No one can suggest a different movie that would make everyone happier. The Prisoner's Dilemma, when rationality leads to ruin. The Prisoner's Dilemma is a cautionary tale about the perils of self-interest. It's like two friends caught cheating on a test. Separated and unable to communicate, they're each given a choice: confess and implicate their friend or remain silent. The paradox: the rational choice for each friend is to confess, hoping to get a lighter sentence if their friend stays silent. However, if both confess, they both receive a harsher punishment than if they had both remained silent. This demonstrates how individual rationality can lead to a collectively worse outcome. Real-world relevance. The Prisoner's Dilemma plays out in numerous real-world scenarios. Arms races. Countries might feel compelled to build up their military arsenal, even if it leads to a less secure world overall. Environmental issues. Individuals or corporations might overexploit natural resources for short-term gain, leading to long-term environmental degradation. Price wars. Competing businesses might engage in price wars that ultimately hurt their profitability. Game theory's reach extends far beyond the cutthroat world of competition. It encompasses a rich tapestry of interactions, each with its unique set of rules and dynamics. Zero-sum games, a slice of the pie. In zero-sum games, the total gains and losses of all players add up to zero. Think of it as a fixed-size pie. One player's slice gets bigger only if another player's slice gets smaller. These games are characterized by intense competition and a focus on outmaneuvering opponents. Example 1. Poker. In a poker game, the chips on the table represent a fixed amount of wealth. When one player wins a hand, the other players lose an equivalent amount. There's no way to increase the total amount of chips. The only way to win is to take chips from other players. Example 2. Chess. In a chess match, the objective is to checkmate the opponent's king, a clear win-lose scenario. Every move you make aims to improve your position at the expense of your opponent's. Non-zero-sum games expanding the pie. In non-zero-sum games, the total gains and losses don't necessarily cancel each other out. It's like a pie that can grow or shrink depending on the player's actions. These games often involve elements of cooperation and negotiation, where players can work together to achieve mutual benefit. Example 1. Trade negotiations. When two countries negotiate a trade agreement, the goal is to find a deal that benefits both sides. By reducing tariffs and opening up markets, both countries can increase their economic growth and prosperity. Example 2. Joint ventures. Two companies might decide to form a joint venture to develop a new product or enter a new market. By pooling their resources and expertise, they can achieve a larger market share and higher profits than they could individually. Cooperative games, building alliances. In cooperative games, players can form binding agreements and coordinate their strategies to achieve a common goal. This can lead to outcomes that are better for everyone involved than if they had acted independently. Example 1. Climate change agreements. Countries can work together to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and mitigate the effects of climate change. By agreeing to common goals and sharing the burden of action, they can achieve a more sustainable future for the planet. Example 2. Team sports. In team sports like soccer or basketball, players must cooperate and coordinate their actions to win the game. This involves passing the ball, setting up plays, and defending as a unit. Non-cooperative games. The pursuit of self-interest. In non-cooperative games, players act independently in their own self-interest, without any formal agreements or alliances. This can lead to fierce competition and a focus on individual gain, even at the expense of others. Example 1. Price wars. Competing businesses might engage in price wars, slashing prices to attract customers and gain market share. However, this can lead to a race to the bottom, where all businesses suffer lower profits. Example 2. Auctions. In an auction, bidders compete against each other to secure a desired item. Each bidder acts in their own self-interest, trying to get the item at the lowest possible price, even if it means driving up the price for others. Advanced strategies, mastering the art of the game. While the basic game types provide a framework for understanding strategic interactions, there are advanced strategies that can elevate your game to the next level. Mixed strategies, keeping your opponent guessing. Imagine you're playing rock, paper, scissors. If you always choose rock, your opponent will quickly catch on and exploit your predictability by choosing paper. To avoid this, you can employ a mixed strategy, randomly choosing between rock, paper, and scissors with a certain probability for each. This element of randomness makes it difficult for opponents to anticipate your moves and formulate counter strategies. Repeated games, building trust and cooperation. In many real-world situations, games are played repeatedly over time. This creates opportunities for players to learn from past interactions, build reputations, and potentially establish cooperative relationships. For example, consider two companies that compete in the same market. Initially, they might engage in aggressive pricing tactics, trying to undercut each other. However, over time, they might realize that they're both better off if they cooperate and maintain stable prices. This can lead to a tacit understanding or even a formal agreement to avoid price wars, benefiting both companies in the long run. Evolutionary game theory, the survival of the fittest strategy. Evolutionary game theory applies the principles of game theory to biological populations. It explores how strategies evolve and adapt over time, driven by factors like natural selection and genetic inheritance. For example, consider a population of birds with two different foraging strategies: aggressive, stealing food from others, and passive, searching for food independently. If the environment is rich in resources, the passive strategy might be more successful, as there's no need for aggression. However, if resources become scarce, the aggressive strategy might become more advantageous, as birds that can steal food from others are more likely to survive and reproduce. By understanding the spectrum of game types and the nuances of strategic decision-making, we can unlock a world of possibilities and make more informed choices in our personal, professional, and even ecological interactions. Whether you're negotiating a contract, competing in a market, or simply playing a game with friends, the principles of game theory can empower you to navigate the complex landscape of strategic interactions with confidence and skill. Game theory in action, from boardrooms to battlefields. The applications of game theory are vast and far-reaching, extending into virtually every domain of human interaction. Economics. Game theory has revolutionized the field of economics, providing insights into market competition, pricing strategies, auctions, and the behavior of consumers and firms. Politics. From voting systems to international relations, game theory sheds light on the strategic choices made by politicians, diplomats, and even terrorists. Biology. Evolutionary game theory has helped explain the emergence of cooperation, altruism, and other complex behaviors in animals, from ants and bees to primates and humans. Computer science game theory is used to design algorithms for auctions, online platforms, and artificial intelligence systems, enabling them to make strategic decisions in complex environments. Everyday life. From negotiating a car purchase to deciding who does the dishes, game theory can help us make more informed and strategic choices in our daily lives. Embracing the strategic mindset. Game theory is not just for academics and strategists. It's a mindset, a way of approaching the world with a keen awareness of the interconnectedness of our choices. By embracing the principles of game theory, we can become more effective negotiators. By understanding the motivations and constraints of our counterparts, we can craft agreements that benefit both sides. Make better business decisions. By analyzing market competition and anticipating the actions of rivals, we can develop strategies that maximize profits and market share. Build stronger relationships. By recognizing the importance of cooperation and trust, we can foster deeper connections with others and create mutually beneficial outcomes. In the great game of life, we are all players. By understanding the rules of the game, we can become more skilled players, making strategic choices that lead to success, fulfillment, and a better world for ourselves and for generations to come.